Do you like toys? Big Bad Toy Store has toys. If you click the link in the description below and give them money, you too can have toys. Now watch my video. Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Revoltech Nick Wilde from Zootopia. So yes, here we have our Foxy boy from Zootopia. This is the second Revoltech Zootopia release. I also have Judy, and I will be reviewing her shortly. But right now we're taking a look at Nick, and honestly, he is just a really well-executed figure, and he's got a lot of character to it. So if you are a fan of the movie, I would definitely suggest picking him up. Alright, starting off with a quick size comparison. Of course, here we have Nick. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Cosmic Armor Iron Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. Now, Nick is meant to be the size of a fox, so obviously he doesn't scale with 3 3/4-inch or 6-inch figures, really. I don't think he looks bad with 6-inch figures, though. If you don't really care how big he's actually supposed to be, he's at least around that kind of size. And here he is next to the Revoltech Judy, and they do scale with each other properly, as he is a good bit taller than she is. Now let's get everything else out of here and just look at Nick. Alright, moving on to our 360 spin, and Nick just looks really good. All of his fur is nicely textured, and it has good gradient from orange to brown in the appropriate areas, like his wrists and on his tail. He has on his green shirt with all the floral sort of patterns on it, and that's executed really nicely. Blue tie with red stripes, and some pretty standard looking grayish brown slacks. So all in all, I think he looks great. I have no real complaints about his appearance. Head sculpt wise, Nick continues to have the nice gradients and fur detail on his head, as well as all of his faces, which he comes with 4 of. He has his standard smiling expression, his sad expression, his distressed expression, and his smirking expression, all of which are executed really well. I'm personally very fond of the smirking one. And on each one of his heads, the eyes are articulated, so you can move those around to change what direction he's looking in and stuff like that. But do make sure you line them up properly, or they might look really weird. Articulation-wise, Nick is pretty good, although I do have some complaints. As usual with Revoltech figures, all of his joints are revolver joints pretty much. His ears move in and out and up and down. Head moves in and out, up and down, all around. Neck, same thing, in and out, forward and back, all that kind of stuff. Shoulders go in and out, forward and back, rotate around on the joint. Elbows, in and out, rotation. Wrists, in and out, rotation. Chest moves forward and back, rotates. He also rotates at the waist, but his shirt tails get in the way a bit. Hips go forward and back, in and out, rotate around on the joint. And here is my big, only real problem with the figure. I can't help but notice that whenever I try to move his knees, they don't do anything. Because for some reason, they didn't give this figure knee joints, which is one of the weirdest kind of joints not to give something. Because as far as I know, almost everything that has knees is able to move them. But whatever. Surprisingly, it doesn't break the figure for me, because he still looks relatively dynamic in walking and running poses. But it is a big mark against it, and the only real complaint I have. And below that, his ankles hinge, rotate, pivot, and I would also have liked for him to have a toe joint, but that's not a big issue. And on the back, his tail is also on a revolver joint, so that moves forward and back and rotates all around. So yes, minus the knees, you should be able to get him into some pretty cool poses. Accessories-wise, Nick doesn't come with too much. He has 5 hands, he has 2 open hands, 2 holding hands, and though he doesn't actually come with anything to hold, they're meant to hold Judy's carrot pen, so you have to have Judy if you want him to actually hold something that he's meant to hold. And then he has 1 hand that is similar to his holding hand, but it's a bit more open. It's meant to be sort of like a pointing kind of hand, or you can use it to make him raise his sunglasses. And speaking of sunglasses, he has sunglasses. They kind of clip into his ears a little bit, and you can raise and lower them, and they are pretty nice looking. They're sort of slightly transparent plastic. And then lastly, he comes with your sort of standard clear 3-jointed kind of stand, much better than old Revoltech stands, which are garbage. Packaging-wise, Nick comes in a pretty standard windowed box. Looks really nice. It's very colorful. Figure complex movie Revo, powered by Revoltech. Disney Zootopia logo down there at the bottom. And on the back you get a demonstration of all of Nick's faces, the fact that his eyes move, some poses, and mentioning the fact that he is meant to hold Judy's carrot pen, which I have also already mentioned. As is generally the case with boxes like this, these are good for in or out of package display. Now that wraps it up for Nick, so until next time, goodbye!